Hey guys, my name is Donovan R. Dietz, and welcome to Dark Empire Films. Now, I just want to record this video to tell you some facts, or your kids some facts, about Martin Luther King Jr. So here's the first fact I'm going to tell you, anyway. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th. My birthday was yesterday. I'm 18 now. And here are some other facts that I looked up. Okay, so King's birth name was Michael, not Martin. King was born Michael King Jr. on January 15th, 1929. Just like I said. In 1934, however, his father, a pastor at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church, traveled to Germany and became inspired by the Protestant Reformation leader, Martin Luther. As a result, King Sr. changed his own name as well as that of his 5-year-old son. King entered college at the age of 15. And that's pretty interesting too, because normally you're supposed to go to college when you're 18. King was such a gifted student that he skipped grades 9 and 12 before enrolling in 1944 at Morehouse College, the alma mater of his father and maternal grandfather, although he was the son, grandson, and great-grandson of Baptist ministers. King did not intend to follow the family vacation until Morehouse President Benjamin E. Mays, a noted theologian, convinced him otherwise. King was ordained before graduating college with a degree in sociology. King received his doctorate in systematic theology. After earning a divinity degree from Pennsylvania's Crozer Theological Seminary, King attended graduate school at Boston University, where he received his PhD degree in 1955. The title of his dissertation was a comparison of the conceptions of God in the thinking of Paul Tillich and Henry Nelson Wieman. King's I Have a Dream speech was not his first at the Lincoln Memorial. 6 years before his iconic oration at the March of Washington, King was among the civil rights leaders who spoke in the shadow of the great emancipator during the prayer pilgrimage for freedom on May 17th, 1957. Before a crowd estimated at between 15,000 and 30,000, King delivered his first national address on the topic of voting rights. His speech, in which he urged America to give us the ballot, drew strong reviews and positioned him at the forefront of the civil rights leadership. King was imprisoned nearly 30 times. Yeah, I've heard of him getting imprisoned. According to the King Center, the civil rights leader went to jail 29 times. He was arrested for acts of civil disobedience and on trumped-up charges, such as when he was jailed in Montgomery, Alabama in 1956 for driving 3 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. Alright, let me pass this. Skip this. King narrowly escaped an assassination attempt a decade before his death. So I guess he may have survived an assassination, for once. On September 20th, 1958, King was in Harlem signing copies of his new book, Stride Toward Freedom, in Bumstein's department store when he was approached by Isola Ware Curry. The woman asked if he was Martin Luther King Jr. After he said yes, Curry said, "I've been looking for you for 5 years." And she plunged the 7-inch letter opener into his chest. The tip of the blade came to rest alongside his aorta, and King underwent hours of delicate emergency surgery. Surgeons later told King that just one sneeze could have punctured the aorta and killed him. And in case you don't know what that is, kids, it's pretty much a part of your heart. Like the circular tube that goes like this. Maybe, if you guys are into like biology, maybe you should look that up if you have a phone by any chance. From his hospital bed when he convalesced, thank you, Grandpa, for weeks, King issued a statement affirming his nonviolent principles and saying he felt no ill will toward his mentally ill attacker. You hear that, kids? He was nuts. That's what mentally ill means. Mental illness is known as insanity. Look it up. King's last public speech foretold his death. King had come to Memphis in April 1968 to support the strike of the city's black garbage workers. And in a speech of the night before his assassination, he told an audience at Mason Temple Church, "Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I've seen the promised land. I may not go there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. And I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." So he pretty much knew he was going to die. But he was also kind of religious. I may not know if he's religious or not, but he did mention God. Anybody who mentions the Lord to me, I may think they're religious. Because I've been in a youth group. Christian youth group. Members of the King's family did not believe James Earl Ray acted alone. Ray, a career criminal, pled guilty to King's assassination, but later recanted. King's son Dexter met publicly with Ray in 1997 and argued for the case to be reopened. King's widow, Coretta, believed the mafia and local, state, federal government agencies were deeply involved in the murder. She praised the result of a 1999 civil trial in which a Memphis jury decided the assassination was the result of a conspiracy. And that Ray was set up to take the blame. A U.S. Department of Justice investigation released in 2000 reported no evidence of a conspiracy. King's mother was also slain by a bullet on June 30th, 1974. As 69-year-old Alberta Williams King played the organ at a Sunday service inside Ebenezer Baptist Church, Marcus Wayne Chenault Jr. rose from the front pew, drew 2 pistols, and began to fire shots. Could you imagine? That's just like someone standing up right in front of you and doing exactly that. Which you all know is not really okay. One of the bullets struck and killed King, who died steps from where her son had preached nonviolence. The deranged gunman said that Christians were his enemy and that although he had received divine instructions to kill King's father, who was in the congregation, he killed King's mother instead because she was closer. The shooting also left the church deacon dead. Chenault received the death penalty sentence that was later charged to life imprisonment, in part due to the King's family's opposition to capital punishment. Bye! Okay, now here's the final fact. Maybe not the final fact. I'm gonna tell you another fact later of this.
I'm going in.
Okay.
Don't put no more wood in the fire. Alright?
Yep. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln are the only other Americans who have had their birthdays observed as a national holiday. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill that created a federal holiday. To honor King, the holiday, first commemorated in 1986, is celebrated on third Monday in January, plus the civil rights leader's January 15th birthday. And here's another fact I'm going to tell you right now. Right after I research this. So you just wait right there. Okay. The origin of Lutheran Church. Martin Luther found Lutheranism, a Protestant religious denomination during the 1500s. Luther was a Catholic monk and professor of theology who resided in Germany. And now, since I don't think that's where Lutheranism came from, I'm gonna look up who actually made Lutheranism. Who actually made Lutheranism? I'm out in the mountains. Sorry. I also have allergies, so that's why I'm licking up my lips. You know it'll make them sore. Apparently God gave me allergies right now for my birthday. Thanks, God. There's a fire going on, so it's getting a little dark. And that, my friends, is Martin Luther. He was born on November 10th, 1483, in the Holy Roman Empire. And he died on 18th of February, 1546, meaning he was 62 years old. His education was University of Erfurt. Occupations were friar, priest, theologian, and professor. And his notable works were 95 theses, Luther's Large Catechism, Luther's Small Catechism, On the Freedom of a Christian, On the Bondage of the Will. His spouses were his spouse's spouse is Katharina von Bora, Hans, Elizabeth, Magdalena, Martin, Paul, and Margarethe are his children. And that right there is his signature. Notable ideas of his were 5 Sola, Law and Gospel, Theology of the Cross, 2 Kingdoms Doctrine. And that's pretty much when Lutheranism existed. Martin Luther Daddy King Sr. was the father of Martin Luther King Jr. He was born Michael L. King, but he later changed both his and his son's names to Martin Luther King. He was also known by many as Daddy King. He was the son of sharecroppers and became a country preacher when he grew older. So yeah. And that's it, kids. Those are all the facts of Martin Luther King Jr. that you may or may not learn at school. And this is actually my second video, and I've been doing this for, I think, a while now. Just like a short time. Did my animation. First animation. So, hope you have a good day tomorrow and good night, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!